Hello, everyone, and welcome to United Way. Live United. I'm Terry Westerfield. And joining me today, I have friends who are in to talk about Mission Ignition. I want to welcome to the program Melody Reed. Melody's a friend and colleague, and she is a resource development manager for United Way of Southeast Louisiana. Welcome, Melody.
Hi, thanks, Terry.
I'm glad you're here. And the lovely Miss Jacqueline. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi
Allen.
there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing real well, too. Jacqueline is an intern at United Way, and she is a Tulane University student. So go Green Wave.
Whoop.
Whoop. Also joining us today, we have Jennifer Tran, who is a student at Thomas Jefferson High School. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
And also Anya Tipton. And Anya is at Ben Franklin High School. Hi, Anya.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Oh, I'm glad you could join us. Everybody who's tuning in today, I'm just going to say a little bit that I'm calling this round 2 of Mission Ignition, and it has blasted off for local students. Teens from 7 local high schools are giving back to their community through a competition of service hours. It's kind of philanthropy at its finest in beginning stages, and it's a win-win for everyone. In fact, there's no place to go but up. Oh, I know
That's
that
right.
was
Right,
corny.
that's-
Come on. Now, last week you told me that was amazing. But
Yes.
no, it goes on.
There's no
No, but this is such a great program, and it began just a little over a year or so ago. And Melody, I'm wondering if you can play historian here and just kind of tell us how this all came about.
Sure. It was exactly a little bit over a year ago, around January of last year. One of our board members, his daughter was the vice president over at Lusher, and she and her president were kind of thinking about some ideas for how to get their school a little bit more involved in community service and volunteerism. And so because of the connection with United Way, they contacted us and said, hey, I wonder if there's something that we can do here. So we all kind of met together, and after a few meetings, we kind of thought, maybe let's get Lusher's rival Franklin involved in this too, and see if we can maybe get some sort of like friendly competition going. And once we kind of met together with the Franklin president and vice president, which Jackie, who's here with us today, was actually the president last year of Franklin. And we met in coffee shops, we met on weekends, we met and we just kind of talked through all these great ideas, and what was born was Mission Ignition. And it's fairly deceptively simple. It's really just kind of a competition between high schools to see who can get the most community service hours, which is it's a lot of fun, and the students really kind of took off and took to it. Jackie, do you have anything else that you wanted to kind of add about the beginning of Mission Ignition?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's exactly how everything went. I remember it vividly. No, seriously. It was, I don't know. It was something that we kind of just talked about in the beginning. It was an idea, like when you first talk about like something happening, and then when it actually happens, you're like, wow, you can't believe it's actually, going on, that people are actually here and they're participating. So I remember, meeting at at PJ's and different coffee shops, and then when we talked about it for a month. Was it a month that we had to plan, I think?
Yeah,
and then,
it came together really quickly.
Right, we had a month
Insanely
to plan.
quickly.
And like the month directly after that, we kind of just launched off into the whole thing. And when we had our first kickoff event, it was amazing to see the kind of student participation that we had throughout the competition on that first day. It was overwhelming. But in a great way,
Well, how did you garner all this participation? So many of the schools you hear about, whether at the high school or collegiate level, even some of the middle schools, they're trying to instill this idea of service hours and giving back to students. And so I know that there are different projects people are engaging in, but this seems like it just really took off, really large. So how could you get all your peers, your friends, the other students at Ben Franklin to get involved?
Right. Yeah, that was one of the main things we were worried about, of course, is like, how do you just tell students, start helping your community, start taking out time to just do this. So we did collectively decide on the competition aspect of it to, incentivize students to, you're going against your rival school, let's beat them out and all that stuff. But one thing that I think that we did at Franklin, because Lusher they already have a strong community service background because they are required to fulfill community service hours. But Franklin isn't. We don't have graduation requirements to graduate as far as community service hours. So I think that along with the competition aspect, we really emphasize that this is something that's bigger than just us. It's about actually helping people. We're actually getting out there. We're doing something that matters. And I think when you bring that kind of aspect into it, it appeals to people's emotions and how they affect other people.
Well, now, Jackie or Melody, because then I'm going to definitely want Anya and Jennifer to weigh in. But that first year in getting started, how did you choose what kind of community service projects to participate in? And were they varied? Were they across the city? Tell the folks, because I think what's interesting is I know there was a figure floating around, and you may all remember, of what this giving back would have been worth. And because when it gets down to economics, too, people forget if you can't always afford to give, you can advocate and you can certainly volunteer.
Sure. The number of completed service hours during the 1 month competition was 2,373 hours. So wow. It was actually for all of us who sat around and talked about this in coffee shops. We had no idea if people would actually show up, if people would do anything, and to have this kind of response was incredibly inspiring and encouraging to us. And you mentioned the economic impact. That's over $17,000 back to our community in economic impact. And the types of projects really varied. Since we kind of were flying the plane while building it at the same time, there was a lot of instances where students were just going and finding something to do. Like I think one group of students just took a radius of around their school, and they just went and picked up trash as far as they could go around their school on one Saturday. There were all kinds of instances of people just kind of, okay, we've got to get hours because we want to win this competition. So what do? Let's come up with a plan. And it was kind of exciting to see the creativity of the level of service. So,
but isn't that kind of what a grassroots organization does? You look literally almost in your backyard to find out what is the need, what can we do, how can we collectively come together for the common good and do something that is going to benefit individuals in the community.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think that's one of the things that I like most about Mission Ignition is, for me at least, I work at United Way, and I get to talk about United Way on the regular. And, if you tune into this program, I'm sure you know that we do a lot of different things. So it's sometimes is a little bit complicated to talk about, well, what is United Way? What does United Way do? But for me, Mission Ignition is just kind of the heart and soul of what United Way does, which is getting together a group of concerned citizens and helping them to improve their community. And that's the lens through which I view Mission Ignition. And I think that the students and all the participants, that's the kind of the role that they see themselves in as well.
Well, I want to come back to you too, but remember, everybody weigh in because, as I turn to Jennifer and Anya. Okay, you're participating in Mission Ignition this year. How did you get involved? Was the torch passed by Jackie and others at Franklin for you? Or how about, at Franklin, Anya, because you're I'm going to get this right, at Thomas Jefferson. Thank you, our third president. But how did Thomas Jefferson then get involved? You've already had a little bit of a practice run here now, Anya.
Yeah,
with Ben Franklin.
Yeah, I was a huge participant last year with Mission Ignition. I didn't get to volunteer as much as I wanted to, but I was very active on social media advocating it. I actually got the Social Media Advocacy Award, which they kind of just made up for me and someone. She
was dedicated.
She had some competition this year, though.
Yeah, but I actually, Jackie, I was good friends with her, and Maria Doe, who's the vice president last year at Franklin, and Maria just messaged me, and she was like, hey, you've been very gung-ho with this, do you want to be on the board for next year? And I was like, yes, I do. So We met in the summer and we were talking, like the whole, like Lusher Franklin, like the board members, like we met and so we were like, okay, we want to expand and like what schools can we expand this to? And I actually knew Jennifer before and I messaged her and I was like, hey, like we want to get Thomas Jefferson on board. Like, what do you think? And she was very excited about it. So,
Yeah.
So pick up the story now.
I was part of every club like NHS, NEHS, Key Club, Student Government Association. So I mean, I
A
collectively
real slacker than Jennifer.
yeah. So I talked to all the presidents and I asked them, how do you feel about this community service competition? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So they just, I guess, advocated me as the Thomas Jefferson representative. And I mean, I heard that Haynes, we were going against Haynes. That's our rival school. As an athlete, I am very against them. We always compete against them. So I wanted another chance as a senior to beat them in something.
And this was something that gave you an opportunity. But again, I wish just now and then maybe we were televised because you could see all these wonderful smiles of these incredible women and what you must have been gaining last year and what you feel right now in the throes of competition. Explain to me what's happening right now because I want to know what projects you might be involved in. I want to hear about the social media because that's such a huge component. As you were saying, Anya, people, that's how you all communicate. I always tease that there are those of us who still actually even write letters. I know, but my phone is used for talking. I know, but it's great to be able to reach out to so many people and engage on so many different levels.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's a huge rivalry that fuels it, and sometimes things get tense. But I mean, like honestly, like there was Trenton from Lusher, like who was also like he was the main like presence on like the Lusher side of the social media, and so we kind of became rivals, and like we were trying to like get more hashtags than the other person, but we actually became like really close friends after that. Like like we like the rivalry just like brought us together, and I think that it's doing the same for like all of us now. Like we're all like kind of coming together in this competition. Like it's been fairly friendly, I think.
And please tell me, Jennifer, with Thomas Jefferson, was it easy to get your friends and students on board?
Well, in the beginning, if you've been to our school, there's not a lot of school spirit. So I had trouble getting them into it at first. So I pulled everyone out of class. I had a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, talking about the kickoff, which is where all the schools come together and we play little games and in the end, there's a winner announced, which Lusher was first place. But I mean, we're gonna get you next time. Anyways, well, I was really surprised at the outcome. I got a bus for us. No one else got a bus, but we got a bus.
It was exciting when the Thomas Jefferson
Yes.
bus showed up. It was like the energy went through the roof.
Yes.
It was great.
Well, we are on the West Bank, whereas all the other schools are kind of on the east. Haynes is on the West Bank, but
No,
they're
it's
still
in
kind
Metairie.
of they're pretty far. So we had a little trouble getting transportation. So I thought, let's get a bus, and a lot of people came. There's so many people came that on the bus, we only had one, that some people who drove, they had to come to the school and pick up the excess people.
Wow.
So we came in school colors, we came with spirit, and it was really exciting. I was really surprised at my school. I was like, yeah, we're finally got some school spirit. So showing some Jaguar pride.
Well, I think that's great because you went from starting, as we said, just barely over a year ago, and it was just a kernel of an idea. And now you've got buses, you've got students, you've got spirit. Everybody's showing their colors. So you're having fun. You're having some competition games. I mean, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking mini Olympics of sorts. But then it all goes back to those volunteer hours. So tell me, how do you separate the fun from, okay, we're still having fun, but wow, we're putting a little sweat equity into our community? How do you pick the service projects that you're participating in?
How do we pick them?
Well, everyone kind of contributed. Like, hey, like I think Addison was the one who mentioned Brechtel Park, which is our next service project over in Algiers. He, everyone's like on the West Bank is very familiar with it. So, like anyone who has anything to contribute, like, any ideas, it just like pretty much takes off. Everyone's like so excited about everything. So.
I don't think the competition ever even leaves. Like, even at the parks when we're cleaning them up, you see a guy from Haynes, like, hey, I can pick up more sticks than you can and carry them over there and break off more trees and clean up this park better. The competition really brings out the fun and the community service in us.
I was going to say, and it's such a benefit because I am familiar with that park, and to think how many families used to use it. I haven't seen as many because it has needed some sprucing up. And so for you all to step in and go over there and, as you said, kind of police the grounds and pick up the sticks and the debris and the litter or whatever may have accumulated, it's a gathering place again for families, for kids, for students, and that is something to really be proud of, because not only have you instilled pride within your schools, but you're kind of helping the neighborhood get their pride back too, and I like that. That's
It was really exciting. Just last Saturday, we were working at Joe W. Brown Park, and what we were doing
that's on
there
the
was
east, too, so you're all over the place.
Yes. And so our project there was to clean up this ropes course that had been in disrepair since Katrina, and it just really needed a lot of work. And we were out there, and they saw us all in our T-shirts, and a gentleman came up to me, and I had a couple of the student leaders we were talking about some plans for some things that are coming up, and he came up to me and he was like, what is this group doing? And I told him a little bit about what we were and what we were doing, and he was like, I think that's great, because this ropes course used to be used for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and they haven't been able to use it since Katrina, and we really just want to kind of get it back into a state where it can be used again and kind of really be used as a tool to help these young people kind of bring out their own leadership skills too. So I just kind of felt like that was really an excellent example of what this is kind of intended to do. It's bringing out the leadership skills not only in the student participants, but in, maybe the recipients as well, and in the community members. So we're really excited about our mission projects, which was kind of a new addition this year. Last year, most of the service projects were kind of on the students to kind of develop, but since we had more time to plan, we actually have these missions that we call them every week, and we bring all the schools together, and of course everybody wants to pick up more sticks than the other school, and it works really great, and so far we've been having a lot of fun. We had the kickoff event, which is just to kind of get everybody excited and kind of explain to them what was going to happen in the competition, but then we rolling up our sleeves and getting our hands dirty and doing some actual some great projects. So,
well, tell me a little more, because we've heard a couple of references to getting together at the coffee shops and meeting, but also we know that Anya and we've got Jennifer and Jack and everybody hashtagging all over the place, using Twitter and social media. That's a large component as well. That's how you communicate, correct?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
And is there a competition to see how many
Yes.
mentions in social media?
It is part of the competition. I mean, obviously, it's not weighed as heavily as the community service. It's still a community service competition, but we do have it's meant to be fun, and the social media aspect is definitely one of the fun pieces where they hashtag their school and Mission Ignition, and we try to use the social media platform as a place where people can hopefully talk a little bit more about community service and things that are going on, and kind of get some excitement, and it's a really great way to kind of advocate among your peers for this program that you're working on.
Yeah.
So it's
one of the best parts is that Franklin Lusher and Thomas Jefferson, I don't know about Haynes or Patrick Taylor, but this year I think we've all trended at least once in the greater New Orleans area. So it's really cool because people are going to see the hashtag and think what is this about? And they're going to start to become more familiar with Mission Ignition.
I have to ask, because Anya, you've got the mic right now. What is it about community service that you like or you were drawn to?
I mean, I just like the feeling after I'm done, it's just it's so much better than getting paid for a job or anything, because you just really feel like you're contributing. I mean, it's generic answer, but it's really true for me. I enjoy it so much.
And what about you, Jennifer?
I know I serve food at this homeless shelter, and immediately I get smiles from their faces, and that's one of my favorite parts about community service, is just the smiles on people's faces. But I mean, when you clean up a park, you don't automatically see the smile. You could still imagine it, but it's there. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
But is it that whole sense of giving something
Yes.
or being part of something that's greater than yourself?
Yes.
Right, and when we first started with the rope course, it was so overgrown, and then at the end, when it was nearly totally cleared out with the shrubs and everything, we all just looked back and we're we did this, this is awesome, we made so much progress. It was just really a proud moment.
Well, I have to ask Jackie, because here you are. You've moved on from high school. You're a scholar student at Tulane. How do you keep that momentum going? And do you see it on college campuses as well? Or do you think that people, just a few years can make a difference where all of a sudden, oh, I've got so much else to do? Or can we get them enthusiastic and behind us?
Oh, right. Okay, so I go to Tulane University, so they focus a lot on community service. There are so many different community service organizations there. And I've done some different service learning programs, events with them, and people just take out random time at Tulane to just go in the morning. It might be at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, and we just go and we do things that have tangible results. And I remember going to I think it was Grodat Youth Farm, and we actually shoveled a whole bunch of dirt to clear the irrigation system and different things like that. And we worked throughout there to just help them in what they needed. And I think that I do see a lot of the things that we worked on with Mission Ignition at Tulane. And what I wanted to add to what Miss Melody was saying earlier was about how we actually, the lens through which she looks at Mission Ignition about a group of citizens getting together and seeing the need. Last year, we actually, when we first started, there was a student who said, oh, yeah, my mom does this festival every year, and we would love to have volunteers. And it's about working with children and encouraging play in the community as well as learning and different things like that. And we were actually able to get Mission Ignition volunteers to help her with what she needed. And it's just great to have that kind of circle going on there. Like, people are needing help with this. And here we are at these high schools, helping them out. I mean, a lot of that has played. I'm not sure if Mission Ignition would spread to colleges. I'm not sure about that.
You could be our conduit.
I don't know. I see it starting it in high school. I think it's great because it puts it, in students' mind about what they want to do in the future, and different things like that, and how they could actually affect people, and working with all these different people from different schools that you probably didn't even interact with before, that gives them a different perspective.
Yeah, everyone at Franklin is just like, wow, Thomas Jefferson came out of the blue. Like, we didn't know who they were before, and now they're like taking off with this.
Right. Yes.
And Jennifer's probably thinking, Franklin, what?
Yeah, they have really great sportsmanship. Yeah, they're really nice about everything.
Well, no, I was thinking too. You're instilling this idea now of the giving back and the well, I'm saying it's competitive, but it's also compromise and how you work and in a community. And you're right, Jackie, because not everybody may be going to college locally. I mean, there are aspirations, I'm sure, to go to other places, but it's nice that you've got that background,
right.
And that now when you go to college and you're on a different campus, maybe even in a different state, you can
right.
look to see what they're doing there because now you're part of that community.
Exactly. I think that's a very important aspect of it, that you get that kind of experience and you can take it, wherever you go.
Well, Melody, I know that what Jackie's just said to me is really great. The fact that it's growing enough that people are recognizing Mission Ignition and saying, wow, do you have some members who could help with, and Jackie, you gave the example, whether it's this other festival or it's some other kind of event, and often for nonprofits, that's what it's all about. We are nonprofits, no money, so we need, we truly need people. And as I said before, if you cannot give of finances, then you give of yourself. We love those who can advocate or volunteer because those are the other two components or pillars by which we try to conduct ourselves and to make this a better community, a better region.
Oh, absolutely. It is kind of a tension because we have like the competition aspect, but what I think is so beautiful is just like the fact that they are collaborating. And I don't know if we've gone and mentioned all 5 of the schools, but we have Lusher, we have Franklin, we have Haynes, Patrick F. Taylor, and Thomas Jefferson, of course. So we're really excited about the fact that it's over more than doubled in just 1 year.
The top 5 schools in Louisiana, ranked academically.
Yeah, and so this is
yeah.
That is nice. So we're starting at the top, and that's always a good place to be. Can anybody join, Melody?
Oh, of course, yes. And I mean, can I give out my email address? If you're interested in joining next year's Mission Ignition, please email me. My email address is melodyr. That's MELODYR @United Way SELA. That's SELA for Southeast Louisiana.org. And I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about it if your school is interested. I have to say also, just as a United Way staff person, it's been probably one of the most exciting things of my time with United Way has been working with this group of students. They inspire me constantly because they are constantly looking for ways that they can help just a little bit more, and how can we make this just a little bit better, and they're just always pushing the bar a little bit more. They just make this whole thing great. It's just been a real privilege for me to get to work with them.
Well, I think anybody who's listening today with the three fabulous people we have, and I've got to ask, I'm going to start with you, Jackie, because you are at Tulane. I want people to know a little bit about what interests you. What is your major? What are you really looking forward to doing?
Well, that would be a hard question because I'm interested
in everything.
I'm interested in a lot of things, and I've always been I was very involved in my school because I loved my school. I loved Benjamin Franklin High School with all of me, and I loved it that much because I loved to help people, and I loved the people that I was surrounded by, and I want to be able to nurture that, in myself. I want to be able to help people all my life. I don't know through what medium I might do it. It's great working with United Way and working with the volunteerism aspect of it. But I know that that's going to be an aspect of my life in the future, and as well as a lawyer and business and all that stuff.
Etc.
So, and Anya, any idea yet? Because I know there's still a lot of time, but there must be something that you're already thinking about.
Yeah, well, right now it looks like I'm going to be going to Rhodes College, which is actually ranked #1 for service involvement in the community. So, in the States. So I'm really excited. My dream is to join the Peace Corps after college, but that's, a long shot. But, I want to do international business as a major. Do something I just want to work to bring the world together. And it sounds cheesy, but
no, it sounds beautiful. It does. And Jennifer, please.
Well, actually, I'm a little disappointed that Mission Ignition got started at my school so late because, I really love community service. And as a senior, I just hope that the rest of my school gets the opportunity to continue this community service project. I personally want to go into pre-med. My dream is to become a surgeon and be able to make enough money so that I could do surgeries for free one day and help the community that way.
All right, everybody who's listening today, if you are not inspired by these three women, I don't know what to say because I am truly in awe. And Melody, can we do it?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Kudos, because you three are
great.
amazing.
Well, we have a great role model. Melody is inspired us all. She's amazing. So.
And Melody, you do have a wonderful background. And I sound so old when I say working with young people, but you haven't. It's a little bit of what you've grown up with.
Yes, in my other life, my personal volunteerism life, I do work with young people, students and children as well. So it's been extra fun for me because it's already right where I live and love. That's
in your backyard.
It's close to my heart. Yes.
Well, do me a favor. We are almost out of time, ladies. But Melody, if one more time you can give your email address and any information, so everybody listening out there, if you know of a school or you're an individual who wants to get something going for the next Mission Ignition chapter, please, Melody, take it away.
Yes, please. It's Melody R. That's Melody like music R. at United Way SELA, SELA for Southeast Louisiana.org.
I couldn't have said it any better. This has been absolutely fabulous. Again, round 2 of Mission Ignition is already going strong. We know that next year we're going to need some more, and that actually will be with the fall semester, won't it?
Yes,
so when I'm saying next year, it's really next school term.
Yeah,
right.
It's, I'm going to be really sad to lose my seniors, but I feel like they're leaving an excellent legacy for their underclassmen to follow.
I'm planning on telling everybody I knew them when. But
Me too. I'm getting the autographs now.
Thank you all for joining us. Melody Reed, who is the Resource Development Manager at United Way of Southeast Louisiana. Jacqueline Allen, who is an intern at United Way. We're thrilled to have her. And a student at Tulane University. The wonderful Jennifer Tran, who is a student at Thomas Jefferson High School. And Anya Tipton, who is with Benjamin Franklin High School. I'm Terry Westerfield. And for United Way, ladies, everyone join me. Let's say it. Live
United.